What's up, everyone? Today is day 12 of my 100 Days of Code. And today we are going to go over part 2 of creating an API with Express. So let's get developing. Alright, everyone. So let's get right down into it. As you can see, nothing's really changed in our code except for one thing. I've added a to-do.js in the code, and that's the only thing different from yesterday. And what this is just a JSON file that's going to temporarily add to-dos to our application until we can create a database. Okay, but other than that, it's still the same. And if you're new to this video, you can always find the code in my GitHub page, and I'll have the link in the description below. And while we're here, I want to go ahead and introduce you also to another piece of software that we're going to be using today, and it's called Postman. So if you go over to getpostman.com, you can download this software for free on Windows, Mac, and Linux. And with this software, we'll be able to test out our routes and troubleshoot our program while we program the API, since we don't have a HTML file to go along with this. So after you download Postman and you open it up, you'll see something like this. Okay, just go to requests, and you can skip this part right here where it says save request. And notice that our file is running, and all you have to do is type in terminal or command line if you're on Windows, node space app.js to get it running. And once you've got it running, all you have to do is go over to your Postman, make sure you have Git selected over here, and then you type http ://localhost 3000. And if you click on send, you'll see hello world as we got displayed yesterday in our browser. So that's going to show you that the application is running and working properly. So going back to the code, we're going to talk about some HTTP request methods, and what request methods do. If you go over to the browser and look up MDM HTTP request methods, you'll see that there's a few request methods that you can work with, such as get, post, put, delete, patch. But the ones we're going to be focusing on are the get, which helps you retrieve information, post, which helps you add information to a file or program, put, which helps you to update files, and delete, it's going to help you to remove files. And this is going to help us create our to-do API today, or in this series. So going back to the code, you can see that we've already used the get requests in our project. And but this one sends a message up to the user of a hello world. But it also, like I said, can retrieve data. And I'm going to show you by retrieving the data that's located in our todo.js file. Okay, so if you go and type app.get, and this takes two parameters, and the first one is going to be the route which you want to go to, which we're going to make this the API route. And then the next parameter that it takes is a callback. So with this callback, it takes two parameters of request and response. We're just going to say rec and res. And then we can go into our function, and all we're going to do is return the information that's within our JSON file. So all we need to do is just go res or response.json, JSON, and that's going to be a function, and we're going to pass in the to-dos. But before it'll give us any information back, we have to first require this information to this file right here. So back up top, we're going to make another variable, call it to-dos, and we're going to require in the same directory the todo.js file. All you have to do is write to-do, and Express is good enough to know that it's a JavaScript file that you're looking for. But making this available to our app file is this line right here, module.exports. This is going to ensure that everything that's in this file is able to be passed along to any other file that requires it. So let's go ahead and save what we've done in app.js. And then if we go to our Postman, open it up, and then in our request, type in /API, and then hit send. We get 3 to-dos that we have in our todo.js file. And I just want to let you know that what we just did, we grabbed everything within the file. We can also just grab one item from a list of items. So to do that, all we have to do is go back to our IDs and type in app.get. We're going to use the same, we're going to use API route, but this time we're going to put another /:ID. Then the same, we're going to use a callback with request and response. And then all we have to do is basically pull the ID out of those out of the JSON file. So we can first make a check to see if there is a such ID by creating another variable. I'm gonna call it check, and that's gonna be to-dos, dot sum, and what sum is, it takes a function, and we're gonna call it to do. It's gonna take a to do, and then what we're looking for is if to do dot id is equal to parse int of request dot params dot id. Why parse int, and what is this request dot params dot id? The request params dot id is what is usually passed in through like a form to the browser. So it'll get like whatever's passed in after the URL is called like mozilla.org /en.us. That's dot methods. It'll pull that out if it's passed in through like a form type into the URL. So that's what params is. And parse int, why we need parse int is because JSON returns a string, and if you can, and the ID is a number, so we have to parse it back into a number before we can use it. That's why we using parse int. So now that we got our check, we can do res.json, and then we're looking to do's dot filter, which also takes a function, and we're gonna run to do. It's gonna take a parameter of to do, and then we're looking for to do dot id if it's equal to parse int of the request dot params dot id. But we want to make sure it checks out first before we run that. So we can go up here and say if check. Then we want to look for this. And then down here we can go else. If it doesn't find anything, we want to tell the user something. We want to give the user a message. So we can, from our response, we can set the status of the response, and this is where the status code's gonna come in. So we're gonna give it a status code. We're gonna send back a status code of 404, and as you can see here, 404 is mean not found. So we're gonna send a status of 404. Okay. And then we're gonna pass JSON, a JSON object. We're gonna send the user a message, and in that message we're gonna say with backticks, and that's the key right beside the one, so we can pass a variable inside it. We're gonna say there is no to do with the ID of, and then we're going to pass in the request dot params dot ID that was sent in. So if we save this, and go back to our Postman, and then we look for the first JSON document, first JSON item. We should get the first JSON item coming back to us. If we look for number 2, we should get number 2. And if we pass in something that's not there, like ID of 5, we should get there's no match, there's no to do with the ID of 5 returned back to the user. So with that, I think that'll be about it for this tutorial. And tomorrow we'll go a little bit deeper, and we'll take on some of the other request methods: post, put, and delete. Okay, everyone. So now day 12 is officially over, and we've talked about a few things in this video. One being HTTP request methods and response status codes, and we've also talked about how to go about adding files into an Express application, and then using get method in a response in the Express application as well. So if you've gotten any kind of good information from this video and you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon that's right next to it so that you'll be notified next time I drop a video. And as usual, you can always find my code on my GitHub page, and there'll be a link to it in the description below. Well, I thank you for continuing to watch my videos, and until next time, keep developing.